Schenectady City Council Committee to order for Monday, May 1st, 2023. And the first committee is Public Safety.
I'd like to call the Public Safety Committee to order. We have one item on the agenda for tonight. That is the renewal of Mohawk Ambulance Service Contract, and that will be discussed by Chief Marina.
Good evening, everyone. Here this evening to present a contract for Mohawk Ambulance Service. It is one that is one we've had for over 20 years, if not longer. It renews every 3 years. The only difference in this contract as opposed to the previous one that we're operating under, I believe it's in point 17. The previous contract said that either party could get out of the contract with a 60-day written notice, and that has been changed to a 90-day written notice. No other changes.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions or concerns from the council? May I please have a motion?
So,
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Are there any other items to call before the Public Safety Committee? Hearing none, can I please get a motion to adjourn?
move that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you. I would like to call the Finance Committee to order. The first item is adopting the 2023-2024 HUD Annual Action Plan. The public hearing was held on April 10th, and we had a 30-day comment period, which is over. Mr. Yates, Let's see. Would you like to just comment on anything new that happened within the period now?
We didn't receive any written public comments for the annual action plan, so we're just looking to move it forward for adoption as proposed.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Ms. Dean. One more item for you. No, sorry, this is a reminder for a public hearing to amend the 2022-2023 HUD Annual Action Plan. Public hearing is scheduled for May 8th. That's next week, Monday. Any comments on that, or this is just a reminder?
Just a reminder.
Thank you. Any other business before finance? May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I'd like to call to order City Development and Planning. We have 12 items on the agenda. The first, let's see, right here. First is a call for a public hearing for Hamilton Hill rezoning. Ms. Dia?
Yeah, so we are requesting to rezone an area of Hamilton Hill from R1 to R2. And this is the land that's between Hamilton Street, Schenectady Street, Strong Street, and parts of Summit Ave and Mumford Street. So the area is currently zoned as R1, but it contrasts with what's physically present in the zone. So a majority of the housing is actually two-family structures. So the R1 zoning kind of prohibits development in the area and the reuse of the structures there, given the limitation of a two-family structure having to be a single-family home. So I think this was done back in 2007. And we've just seen the impact of that. You can see in the map, I don't know if it's in color, but the R1 area is basically surrounded by R2 zoning. So it's really only those couple of blocks that are R1. And over time, we've just seen the impacts of that and the limitations with how the properties can be used, how we can look at reinvestment in the neighborhood, working with our nonprofits, and other partners in just the general revitalization of Hamilton Hill. So this has been something that's been discussed for a long time, and we're finally bringing it forward, and we're looking forward to the future of the property there when we kind of match the zoning to what the structures of housing currently are. I was just going to say, so the first thing would be to call for the public hearing for the rezoning of the R1 single-family zone between Hamilton Street and Strong Street.
Are there any questions? I'll move it.
Second.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Williams?
Does this take into account like parking or any increases in vehicles in those areas?
It would be pretty similar to, again, what's surrounding. And we don't see really any issues with parking. There's actually some data that supports that 40% of households don't own a vehicle, so they're actually taking public transit and walking and biking and things of that nature.
Thank you.
All right, I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Diaz, lead agency for the seeker and opening a 30-day comment period for the Hamilton Hill rezoning.
Yep, so related to that item, this is just the city council declaring the intent to act as lead agency for the seeker review and the call for the public hearing to determine the environmental significance of the project.
Are there any questions? Take a motion.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And item number 3, referral of the Hamilton Hill zoning changes to the planning commission.
Yes, referring this zoning amendment proposal to the planning commission for a recommendation. It would be on the May 17th agenda for this month's planning commission meeting.
Are there any questions?
I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, Ms. Dion. Item number 4, authorize the mayor or his designee to enter into an agreement with New York State Department of Transportation for Franklin Street, cycle track, City of Schenectady, Franklin Street from Knott Terrace to J Street. Mr. Wallman.
Thank you. So the City of Schenectady received federal aid money to study and install a cycle track between Knott Terrace and Clinton Street, directly behind me, adjacent to City Hall. We have an agreement with CHA. This is an agreement with the DOT so that we can be reimbursed up to 95% of the costs associated with the design.
Other questions?
I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number 5, to award bidding contract for the Congress Street retaining wall replacement. Mr. Wallman.
Congress Street, adjacent to the Dunkin' Donuts and the former bike shop, which is now essentially a kitchen renovations store. The wall there is failing and has been braced. We've been working with the new property owner on it. We have a temporary easement to enter and a permanent easement as the retaining wall is going to extend out farther onto their property, probably approximately 5 feet from where it is now. We solicited and received 4 bids. The low bid was Reifenberg Contracting. We have worked with Reifenberg before. Reifenberg did a lot of work on Erie Boulevard previously. We haven't worked with them recently, but the price is under our budget, and I have no reason to believe they won't be able to perform the work.
Are there any questions? And take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number 6, the award the bidding contract for the Forest Road intersection improvements.
So this is 2 intersections on Forest Road. We did a project similarly on Forest and Francis last year, where it's essentially a road diet project. We'll be removing the existing 2 small landscape circles, narrowing the intersections, and installing crosswalks. This is essentially also to complement our Craig Street, Mount Pleasant work that we're doing, some of our linkage studies. We had 3 bids. We're going to be looking at doing the base bid and alternate one. Alternate one is to pave the corridor when we've done. We had an alternate 2 for curbing. However, given the cost and the lead time associated with curb, we were going to look to just do alternates, the base and alternate one.
Any questions? Clarification? No? On take motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 7, award bidding contract for replacement Kings Road Bridge over CSX Amtrak.
This is an older project, federal aid, that we've been talking about. It is the complete replacement of the Kings Road Bridge. We went out to bid for this for a standard period of 30 days as required by state contracts. We got 4 bids, all from reputable contractors, with all being Wind Construction. We have not previously worked with Wind, but they are local and they have done a lot of work in the area and with people that I work with consistently. They have been recommended and their bid was sent to the DOT for concurrence. I will be getting that soon. And then you'll end up seeing me come back with an agreement similar to Franklin Street to accept the funding for the reimbursement for the project. So I will be back here again for this. It is well within budget. Our budget for the project was somewhere in the $6.5 million range. So they came in, but that doesn't include, we have construction inspection in here, which will be considerable. So the project came within budget. Schedule-wise, we're putting it out now with the intention of getting all of our shop drawings, which is our review process, done, getting our steel ordered, and really starting the project next year, first thing in the spring. Since the bridge is open, It shouldn't be, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to have a situation where we close the bridge and then have a winter shutdown. We want people working the entirety of the time that the bridge is closed, because there is no detour. The detour is a detour. There is no partial closure of the bridge to do it. So what we're looking at doing is, I mean, if the contractor says that they can get it done this year, we'll welcome it, but right now, just given the lead time on materials, we're thinking it'll be a spring to summer project straight through with no shutdowns in between.
Any questions?
I'll move this.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item number 8, award bidding contract for the North Center Street reconstruction, Callahan Industries.
Yep, this is a smaller complete streets project that we're doing. North Center Street, a little jug handle street between Union Business District and the Little Italy Business District. We closed a rail underpass there, and we've also seen some issues due to flooding. We have some sidewalk and some parking issues. There has been some development in that area, where the people there have asked us to look at that street. Metroplex is actually, I don't have that, I just got commitment from them. Metroplex is going to cover the cost of the sidewalks on the project, so we are signing an MOU with them for $114,000 of this cost, and they wanted me to bring that up, so I'm working on that right now with David Hogenkamp and Ray Gillen. The bid was slightly over our estimate. However, the bids were so tight, within $4,000 of each other, that it is what it is. The market is what it is, and I don't feel a reason that we don't have anything that we can, a magic bullet where we could say that we're going to, lower these by substantially if we were to rebid it. So Congress Street retaining wall came in a little low. This came in a little high. Balances out.
Any questions?
I'll move
Just-
it. Oops,
Just,
sorry.
Madam Chair, because I assume that's just a typo in the cover memo where the recommendation is to enter in a contract with Wind Construction Service.
Oh,
So it should be just
Count in.
Callahan.
It's probably left over from the other resolution, so.
Oh,
Where do you?
way down, oh, down here.
Yep, we'll change that for the council meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. All right. With the correction,
With the correction, I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's it. Thank you very much. Item 9 on the agenda, it was to authorize the abandonment of the portion of Amelia Street. We did have a public hearing on the 24th. We had one person that came to speak, and I believe he spoke in favor of that. So at this time, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
God bless you.
Item number 10, to authorize the abandonment of a portion of a large street, and the public hearing again was held on April 24th. No one came to speak. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And item number 11, amending 2418 of the Schenectady City Code to designate Fuller Street from South Church Street to South Ferry Street, a one-way street. And again, the public hearing was held on April 24th, and no one came to speak about that. I'll take a motion.
So,
Second.
All those in favor? Did you have a question, Mr. Colvin?
No, thank you.
There is one, the next item is actually going to be for executive session. So before that, I would like to, to ask, this May is Mental Health Month, so I would like to ask there would be a ceremonial resolution given to the local group for that. So I would need to ask the committee if they would entertain that.
so,
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And item number 12, is the sale of 91 Division Street, which is, would have to be an executive session. So at this time, I ask for a motion to recess.
So moved.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're recessed.
I'd like to call claims to order. We have 4 items on the agenda, and all 4 would be things that we need to discuss in executive session. So I would like to ask for...
Did you need to say what they are?
I'm sorry.
Did you need to say what they are? What they were for?
Yeah, the four.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
the 4 items I would recommend they go into executive session. It has to do with ongoing litigation and/or claims, and discussing it in open session could impact and impair our ability to resolve these matters.
Do you want me to read them out loud?
No. Okay.
So I'd like to get a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So,
For an executive session, the public will have to leave.